Hi guys, happy Thursday morning.
Evening.
Sorry, evening, yeah. Sorry for being late a little bit. Today I went to my morning doctor's appointment again, as like many of you guys know, like I'm going through the egg freezing process. But I'm super happy. The fact that the market is dumping. I'm happy just because like I just told Albert, it's like I was the doctor set my expectation like for the number of eggs I could get like probably like 2 3 weeks ago, but today I realized like the numbers literally doubled. So I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is great. Means like years of healthy eating and like continuously to go to gym finally pays off.
Yeah, lots of my
Okay.
friends also develop their habit about sports
Mm,
and balance their body
mhm,
in the past few months. And actually, when we change our mode from the hustle uh, trading mode in the crypto space back to the normal
mm.
life, our status will also change a lot, and everyone can tell, especially for the crypto
Meaning,
guy.
um, can you guys see my screen? But I think like right now it's actually a good time to really think about what you want in life, right? I literally last night I was looking at tweets sent by Ben Roy, and he says that like because the AI is slashing the jobs and the AI is significantly improving your productivity, everyone else productivity. And at the same
Yeah,
time, there's like an ongoing war. There's an energy crisis in especially in Asia. So market is super volatile. We are seeing market did a little bit like dumping things
yep,
yesterday, like 24 hours ago, and this morning we see it even inch lower. And this is not just for the crypto market. We are also seeing gold is also like those like people
dumping.
think are yeah it's dumping. People think those assets are hard assets, which is more I guess like can be more immune to the geopolitical risk, but then they realize it's not. I I personally think this is pretty normal because if you really look at all the historical data, whenever there's like a large war that involves commodities, involves oil supply and demand, usually the gold, silver, those other commodities gonna dump first. And then like with the oil price continue to climb, then maybe like 1 month or 2 months later, it will revert back, and then you will see a pretty much like up and run for those hard assets. So I would say like if you don't have a position in gold, silver, or hard assets, don't rush to get in. But if you have it, if you already have the position, don't panic. Cause
Yeah. But wondering
yeah.
why uh commodities drop a lot, even the market is bad, because they don't know uh the XY is also pumping hard. So many like institutions or traders may move their position from uh commodities to fiat, maybe. Yeah.
I think the only fiat that may you may see an increase is called US dollar because it's raising together with the oil price. All the
Yes,
other
yes.
countries fiat, right? Say Korea won, Japanese yen, or even euro. You already see like a significant decrease. I mean, we can take a look at the pricing, and then this is gonna cause like significant trading problems or economic problem.
Yeah, so I think it's why very important to check all the status of different kinds of assets at the same time, where something big happen,
Yeah.
like commodity, crypto, and fiat, and interest rate, possibility, energy. All are
Mhm.
the all should be on the watch list. every day. It's way more complicated uh ever since we joined the crypto space.
Correct. I mean, everything is convoluted together because of the reason, right? Because crypto has enabled the almost the 24/7 trading for all the commodity assets, and have forced all the assets to be placing on chain. And then we are seeing like increasing volume, uh, increasing weekend volume for commodities. And on the other side, like yesterday, as I think we also see the big news for Hyperliquid, right? They are the first one. They are able to
Yeah,
list like what is
S&P
it?
futures.
Yeah, S&P 500.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that caught a lot of people's attention because many people are surprised. Like they
yeah,
were
very crazy
originally thinking
actually.
like, yeah, they were originally thinking like maybe it will be like the established the larger players who will get to list that first, but it's actually Hyperliquid.
Yeah. In my opinion, things change since they like they poured 1 million Hype token to set up the policy center, Hyperliquid policy center to make all these things happen. Yeah. And things
1
just
million token where?
for setting up the policy center. Yeah. So I think this kind of initiative push them to get into connections with like traditional finance space and connection with the institutions make all these kinds of collaboration happen.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of like, I mean, those are not necessarily under the table because like say Paradigm or a couple of like large US funds, they announce like they're uh getting into Hype, the token, like over like really large OTC deals earlier or at the end of last year, right? When the market was really bearish at that time, but then they have already expressed and they have already prepared like a large buying for the HYPE token. And now we see that like with the US government start to provide more and more clarity into crypto assets, like which ones can be classified as securities, which ones can be classified as like stable coins. uh like today we will also use our live stream to break down like what's going on because on Tuesday afternoon, literally Tuesday afternoon, CFTC and SEC, they announced this 70-page legal document where like basically provide the whole world a very clear guidance of like how we should deal with like crypto assets. And with that being said, I think like we will see more trading apps being built in the United States or across the globe, and then more of the economies they're gonna follow the same like clarity rules within their regime or countries.
Yep, for sure. I think
Yeah,
I mean the price is not so good, but we can see lots of updates and developments in such a bearish market for the whole industry. And also it uh, actually it didn't mention all the aspects like staking or on-chain voting, etc. But still like amplify the importance of the DeFi-related activities on chain. And I think it's very bullish than ever.
I think it did provide a lot of like clarity. I mean, later we will get into the details, but
Yeah.
before that, like let's take a look at the pricing, right? So Korea won. Okay, this is USD to Korea won. Okay, uh, so
Yeah.
we can see it's like continue climbing. That just means Korea won is losing its value, and it's of course it's gonna hurting its like uh it's gonna change the dynamics for the international trades. And then I mean same applies to JPY, right? You will also see that like continuously USD is gonna be raising against the JPY. But yesterday, BOJ says they're gonna hold the rates steady. They already did
Hmm.
their interest rate hike earlier this year, and I remember we did like pretty extensive reporting on how the increase of JPY interest rates gonna impact like the unwinding of the Japanese yen carry trade, and then that essentially tightens the whole global liquidity, which we are slowly to seeing that being effective in across the global economy.
Yes.
And then, okay. Our audience said Didi was here. I smelled oil. What does this mean? For the oil pricing, okay, let's take a look at the crude oil pricing. Oh, this is
Brent
actually,
oil pop a lot
yeah.
today.
Let me go to the trading view, and then just like that can show you the
30% in a week. Wow, crazy. From 86 to 100, 100.
at 7. It's 107 right now. If we just look at the
Yeah,
CAD. Eh?
yeah, 7.
Eh? Why is it not sharing the right tabs? Okay, maybe I need to
Oh,
reshare it. But okay, let me reshare the screen so that I make sure it's like sharing the right windows. Okay, I think now it's good. So yeah, I mean, everybody was like foreseeing this happening in the everybody knows this was going to come, and especially like the US and Iran and Israel will continue to escalate, because literally yesterday we saw so many news about Israel has attacked the Qatar LNG factory, right? Where they produce I think 40% of the world gas as well oil was produced there, and then the U.S. Mr. Donald Trump, he said that this was not permission by U.S., and I urge like Israel to stop attacking all those like gas production from other GCC countries, and then he also says like Iran should also stop attacking those oil production, because the
yes.
thing is that one
Yes, I saw many accounts sorted up the comment from Trump maybe in a test in a few weeks. He always change what he say every time.
let's see. Yesterday there was a tweet that's like really, oh, I think White House also here.
Sometimes he will say, "Oh, we should fight back." Sometimes, "Oh, the war should cease" or something. Yeah,
Yeah, so
it's like a
basically,
cycle.
Trump tweeted this like 12 hours ago saying, "Oh, it is very unwisely to for Iran to unwisely decide to attack a very innocent Qatar gas production." And on the other side, like I mean, it's Israel he calls it out of anger for what has taken place in the Middle Middle East, has violently lashed out a major facility known as South Pars gas field in Iran. A relatively small section of the whole has been hit. So like right after Israel has launched that missile and like hit the South Pars, then Iran was kind of like, okay, if you guys are doing the very detrimental like destruction on our oil production field, we're gonna do that to all the GCC countries. And then I remember like this morning, Saudi also came out and say, hey, Iran, if you decided or if you continue to strike our oil production field, then we have no choice but to unite with like United States and Israel to attack against you guys. So far, all the GCC countries, they were like, don't drag us, right? We are not part of this formula, right? This is a war between Iran, Israel, and United States. Please do not drag all the GCC countries in, which, I mean, naturally they will do that because if this thing escalated to all the GCC surrounding countries, then many people gonna lose the confidence in the risk management or the potential like geopolitical conflicts in GCC countries, which they have been building so many years trying to attract all those like high tech companies to move there. So this is really, really a bad situation. And I also massively I sent message to a couple of my friends who live in Dubai and asked them if they're doing okay. And then there are a couple of my friends, they also took like 25-hour flight or even longer to just like to come to NYC. And you are right in the sense that like Trump has been tweeting a lot, right? Like one day he's gonna say, "Oh, oil price increase is good for us." The other day, Bassent gonna come out and say, "Oh, the oil increase, the increase in the oil price is all temporary, right? 6 months or 7 months later, you're gonna see it go back to normal." I mean, everybody kind of know that, right? I mean, history always repeats its cycle in a pretty similar pattern. Yes, we know that one day the oil price will come down. It's not going to be as elevated as right now as like, okay, in the US, the WTI is kind of 107, but the physical like exchange value in like Asia is above like $150 or even $200 per barrel. So it's, I mean, everybody knows like, okay, oil price will not be maintained as this high for a really, really long time because that gonna hurt the global economy so much. But what matters here is like how long, what's the duration of like how long this oil price gonna be elevated, right? And how much more all the other countries are paying for this, because obviously European countries are facing like higher gas price, higher oil price, and they have to get the gas from Russia, which was sanctioned by the United States, right? And then so basically like Europe is paying for the Russia gas, and then it's kind of like funding the war between Ukraine and Russia. And on the other side, like Vietnam, Thailand, uh South Korea, Japan, they are also paying for very high physical price of those like Brent oil, because those kind of exchanges will those kind of trade will be happening every day, right? What all the people who are trading on the paper value, like trading from the CME or trading on your Robinhood app, whatever exchange you are using, right? That's the paper value from US, but there's a huge discrepancy between the physical and the physical like traded value for the Brent oil. And I don't think the United States can be able to maintain the discrepancy for much longer. I'm not saying they are like
Yeah.
actively manipulating price. It's just like this spread of pricing will be matched further, because think about it, if I am a oil producer, right, or I am say someone who is able to sell and ship the oil in the US or in some nearby countries, right, and then all the Asian countries, they are paying me 150 and $200 like per barrel, and while US is paying me like 100 and 108, who am I going to sell to, right? It's a huge price discrepancy, and then the money will only flow to the place where it has the least resistance. Of course, like US can adopt a rule where say, oh, we're gonna stop exporting oil, we're gonna just reserve it for our internal usage, our domestic usage, which I think we have been seeing that, but how long can this be maintained? And then we continue to see the news coming from Iran that says, oh, we're gonna create new rules for to determine like which vessels can be passed through the Strait of Hormuz, and then how much tax they will be paying per barrel, which essentially they are saying, fuck you, United States, they are defining the new rule of like how the oil gonna be priced. And then once like all the other countries sense the, I guess, like weakened signal from the United States, then it it it's basically a power rule here, right? They're gonna follow the structure. And
Yeah.
then GCC countries gonna question, oh, all the military promise, all the all the promise of like we having a very safe and controlled geopolitical and balance is no longer existing. And Iran has they do not see any they do not see any benefits. They are seeing like very good benefits of saying, oh, they are able to sell their oil like 3 times or 4 times of the price before the war. And they are also making all the callings. So why should they stop the war? And plus, they they have been in war with like Israel for hundreds of years, right? If you really take a look at the history between Iran and Israel and how they have fight across like different lands and how all the time like United States or Egypt or whatever other countries are trying to reach a treaty uh agreement with them, they continue to break that. So I think like of course it's a lot of causality when there's war, but I would say like the Iranians are finding more reasons that they want to be part of or they want to continue to fight this war more than Americans. Because I think majority of the Americans, like no matter you see in personal life or on the internet, they're saying we don't really understand why we are fighting this war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People say the longer the war lasts, uh, more disadvantages for the state. So there are several key dates we can watch, like OPEC meeting. I think
Hmm.
maybe at the end of the March or at the first of start of the April. Yeah, we'll decide uh the exact amount of the oil at that time.
I mean, you also see the core PPI, right? The production pricing is
Yeah,
increasing, which basically is like determining all the things you are consuming every day, like your food, the factory produced stuffs, like the chemicals that used to grow your plants, grow all the vegetables. It's all coming from there, and the price is all derived from that like pricing point, right? If you look at like yesterday, I also sent out a tweet, right? Even though yesterday the PPI, the production price index was announced, and it was just for February, right? It already increased like 0.7%, which is the highest since February 2023. And I don't know when the statistics, the inflation rate for March, like when it comes out, what it's gonna be. But but people are already expecting the inflation is not under control anymore. We're gonna see significant increase, and I can actually feel the pricing that I'm paying every day is increased
yeah,
from every single perspective. From like how you take a cab to whether you decide to take a flight to another country or to when you buy all the goods from the supermarket. It's
yeah.
gonna be us, the consumers, the normal people who will be paying the price for the war. Which I
Oh,
mean,
well, not from
it's
Japan.
always the case.
There's a comment on YouTube. We both
Oh,
we not from Japan.
we're
You can
not
keep
from Japan.
you
I
can
mean,
keep
Alvin
guessing.
knows you guessing, yeah. Alvin knows how to speak some Japanese, but we're not from Japan.
日
Yeah.
本語話せるちょっと。
Okay. Nice, Alvin. But it doesn't really matter, right? Our stand is pretty when we do analysis on the data as well as the pricing of like what we see in the market, we are trying our best to give a more comprehensive and neutral read on the situation. And that's why like whenever I want to take information from the market, I actually listen to left and right and the middle, like all the people's reasoning um on their comments on their thoughts on the war, right? And then I can classify it for you, right? For the last several days, like how people are reacting. For the right people, they continue to say, hey, oh, we have so many B-52 airplanes. We are so strong militarily in the United States. It's our call. Blah blah blah. They continues to boasting that military dominance. I mean, I think it's true that like U.S. in terms of technology or in terms of a military weapon is advanced compared to many other countries. But when it comes to like an actual war, right? The location, the geolocation, also the geographic characteristics of different countries, as well as your capability to continue to fund that war is all a very complex like mathematical equation. And then plus like like it's always the human beings or the parties who are like managing or deciding how they're gonna fight the war, right? So there's like war tactics. There's like ways you can get information from different parties. So even if like maybe you have like dominance in terms of the military weapons or the supplies, it doesn't really mean 100% you're gonna win the war. And we are seeing it very, very clearly how this has been escalating or this has been developed for the war between US, Iran, and Israel. On the other side is like for the left people who never understand why like Trump took this war at the very beginning, then they are saying, oh, we did not agree with this. There's a lot of conspiracy. There's a lot of like things ongoing, and then they continue to, I guess, like spread the word out, and then say, oh, trying to figure out if there's a way like to withdraw from this. And then they are saying like maybe after this, right? The and then they are talking about the kind of the better case scenario. The best case scenario is like US find a way to be out of this war, but then they will be focusing a lot more on the domestic issues instead of like overextending its military power as well as like judgments and ruling all across the world. And this is pending, right? We are seeing the outcomes, the first order outcome or second order outcome of this war, like slowly rolling out of our eyes with limited information, because of course like all the information that's available across different websites are sanctioned, are controlled in a certain way.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think like we need to be very proactively like trying to figure out like where all those different voices are existing in the market, and trying to like what I do is like I will listen to the most diehard left person and the most diehard right person, and then the middle ground person, and then try to understand their reasoning and logic, and then come up with my own reasoning or my own judgment of the situation. And so far I think it's working pretty well for me. I don't know how you judge the information of it so far.
Just information. For
Hmm?
everyone, we need to keep our own multipliers for different factors we see on social. Maybe depends on the, the, the status.
The
Uh,
status for what?
and will change day by day. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I will always rely our own system, maybe from a certain media, KOL, and data.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we need to find the appropriate, maybe top 10 or top 20 accounts
Mm-hmm.
for every sector. Yeah. And we need to
Yeah.
keep changing, need to keep changing it like every month or even bi-weekly or even faster in this market.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, like I made my prediction, or I analyzed the whole situation like for the last like 2 weeks, right? And then uh and I think like every like I see majority of I guess like people who really rely on economic like modeling, as well as like more, should I say, truth seeking, they all come to like a very similar conclusion. It's like unfortunately the major two parties, Iran and like Israel, from this war, they are not willing to pause this war. They have many incentive to engage in this war further.
Yeah.
But on the other side, it's like United States is there's no obvious like economic benefit coming out of from this war. People are saying some conspiracy thoughts, or talking about conspiracies of like, okay, when the war ends, then secret society, also the parties from the US, they will be able to win a lot of contracts to rebuild the infrastructures in Iran, in Israel, or in GCC countries. But those are all, I guess, like conspiracies or people's assumptions, right? But what we see, like in the most straightforward, like surface level truth, is that like all the economies across the globe are being hurt. And then a lot of people are saying, oh, China might be the biggest winner for this war. If I want to say this in a very neutral way, right? Maybe in the long run, China's like world order is increased, like because of this war. But in the short term, it's definitely hurting China's economy because of the inflated pricing for the commodities, as well as inflating production costs for all the industrial goods. So nobody is in, I don't think anyone is like winning in this situation. But if you are talking about like a 5D chess perspective, then it's, I guess, like it's a little bit above our pay grade to say, oh, who is winning what.
No one.
And remember, we as the normal consumers, we are paying for this, right? And a lot of and the reasons why so many people feel the anxiety from the current economy is also like, okay, AI is boosting the productivity for every single one. But on the other side, AI is also boosting the surveillance or boosting the capability of like how they monitor your productivity, right? Because we already see that AI is being used to say, oh, monitor whether the kids is doing his or her homework, or monitor whether the workers in the factories are taking some slacks, or they are actually working like from time to time. And then continuously, like all the employees or all the founders, whatever, right? We all feel the pressure, say, if we do not utilize AI to increase our productivity while all the other people are doing that, then we will be lag behind and we will be kind of like eliminated, or we will be at a very disadvantaged position if we don't keep up. So that's like where all the interest is coming from. And has AI really decreased your time of working or learning? I don't think so, right? Just looking at ourselves of it, like I always think like I've never been so focused than ever for the last like 2 to 3 years, and I still feel like, oh, there's so much I need to learn every single day to keep up. So if we are both, or looking at all the friends surrounding us, right, they're all feeling this, then um I think pretty much this is the average case for people.
Well said.
Yeah.
For AI accelerate all the things in the past few months, since last June or July or even November and December, we can tell it seems uh only a small percentage of people and institutions benefit from the technology.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I want
yeah,
to say
and
something like a bit counterintuitive. It's basically, I think, like we are trying so hard every day, trying to keep up with the AI. But I don't think we are at the moment where, okay, uh, I mean, I think that maybe every day you are getting new information from AI, or you have some small new tools you can keep up. But I don't think like if you get into AI today versus you get into AI like 2 months later will make a huge difference for you. Because that moment of the huge leap of like productivity, it came like maybe a year ago, and then the next huge leap gonna come like the next like small cycle. But it's like right now, I guess like daily, it's gonna be like very very small incremental changes, which you don't stress too much.
yep, that's too much.
Seriously, I like because we also tried the what is it the claw right the claw bot
Yeah,
internally and
OpenClaw.
then yeah the open claw bot and then we realized that okay the increase in the productivity of it especially from the coding perspective is not that significant. It is significant but still it has a lot of like constraints to it, right? It's like
Yeah,
the boundary of it is not set properly. It's creating like random domains without when you give it too much permission. And the fact that you need to spend so much time on clean up the shit it has caused.
lot of messy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So go back to what we were talking about earlier, right? Oil price will continue to increase, especially under the current condition, right? We don't see a very clear solution of like, okay, who is controlling, like effectively controlling the Strait of Hormuz. Uh, it looks like the case right now here is Iran, right? And then we also don't know whether US gonna send like ground troops to basically like put Iran back to the negotiation table. Because right now I don't see the negotiation. I mean, we don't know whether it's going on, but hopefully like the three parties who are involved, actively involved in this war is like actively like trying to seek out the situation. But I kind of like I have this like increasing concern towards it. Yeah. What's your take of it?
I mean, for anything.
Yeah, yeah, for the oil. I mean I will maintain my stand on this. I think like we're gonna continue to see the oil price climb
Oil
until
price.
we see more clarity. And then I don't think any like manipulation in the pricing gonna work here.
Yeah, we can
And then
simply
we
check on the possibility where the war where well the war to be ceased for the market. I think it will continue uh till April or even longer. Yeah, maybe we are just started right now.
let's see. I mean, I don't think the ceasefire is meaningful in any ways. Because
Ah,
uh we checked the statistics like probably 1 week ago, 2 week ago, right? Even if you sign a treaty agreement or whatever, right? Does it will it last long? Like it depends. It really depends on like whether the balance will be achieved so that like the ceasefire will be honored by all the three parties.
hmm. There's even a more interesting bet. US Iran ceasefire before Trump visits China.
Oh,
Because it's
because there's a lot. Yeah,
also yeah, it's also correlated.
there's a lot of like speculation on like whether China gonna take an active stance in, trying to find the or trying to help the United States to reach ceasefire between Iran and US. And
Yeah.
then people were speculating on the hotel booking, like when Trump gonna visit China, da da da. I
Ah,
I think like if to be honest, if you are using those information as more like, oh, I'm just following the world news and for like informational perspective, like go ahead, right? But if you are trade on those news, I recommend you do not do that because it's like very misleading. And I don't think those kind of like news are gonna be like the determining factors for where this situation is gonna go, right? It will be one of the small signals for though. So
mm,
so I would say like don't make all those information fool you and then impact your emotions because there's logic. We're gonna support your whole trade when you trade the trend, but there's also like emotions that's gonna like continue to introduce the noise when you trade. And how I think effectively how you manage or minimize your emotions that gonna impact your trade decisions determines how much money you can earn.
Yeah.
So I actually like stopped track track the statistics of like, okay, well, when people are betting on the ceasefire, because I don't think it's that meaningful. But I also keep asking myself like what kind of like market signals I'm looking for when 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 we gonna know actually, okay, the war is like being put to an end. I think probably it's like when London or all those like vessel shipping com companies, they start to price the risk, right? And then there's like smooth vessels passing through Strait of Hormuz under certain rules, and then all the shipping companies they are willing to start to take the credit risk or the insurance risk again, meaning you are able to purchase the insurance. Right now, nobody is able to purchase an insurance for the vessel shipment. And then, to be honest, those gonna take months, right? Because all the insurance companies they're gonna take like once suppose we reach at a certain point we reach the ceasefire, right? We sign the treaty agreement or whatever that is, right? All the three parties, and then it will still take at least like a couple weeks or even months for those insurance companies to assess the damage as well as assess the situation before they can start to price the risks. So I personally do not hold a very optimistic view outlook on this situation. And
And there is
and
another
and
bet for the exact day of for Trump visit China. Like even for May only 65% right now.
mm,
Yeah.
mm, mm,
And for April, it's very low, 38%.
mm. Yeah. What do you want to do? What do everybody want to do while like all the goods and services are increasing its price, inflation is coming? What can we do? I think save some cash or maybe do some oil trades, just like hold until the situation clears out for you for everyone.
Yeah, stay safe and try to keep more cash at your hand. I think that's the best strategy.
But anyways, okay. I think that's enough like oil price talking. Unfortunately, we have to do this during every single of our live stream, and I imagine this will be the case for a while. But I think it's helpful for us to go through this, right?
Yeah, for
And then
sure. It's
right
very
now,
important.
mhm, to understand the whole like microeconomy, and then now what I'm sharing on the screen is the actual documents where the CFTC as well as the SEC they released this 70 pages of like 68 pages of like documents on the laws to certain types of crypto assets, and then basically they define what are digital commodities, what are digital collectibles, digital tools, stablecoins, and digital securities. Um, I mean, does it seem familiar to you? We have commodities, and now we have like digital commodities. You know,
Yeah.
like if like you ask my true takes on this is like when we are entering like a huge recession or a huge change in the regimen, like people gonna create new money. This happened with uh every single major countries or every single major empires in history. And then if we take a look at here, right, what are defined as like commodities? We have like Aptos, Avalanche, BTC, BCH, ADA, Link, Doge, Ethereum, Hedera, Litecoin, Polkadot, Shiba Inu, Solana,
Shiba
Stellar,
Inu.
Tezos, XRP. Yeah, I mean, I think from like DeFi degen perspective, right? For people who have been like in the industry for a while, we will find those like some of like interesting choices. It's almost like
Yeah.
okay, they are choosing that majorly based on I guess the market cap for those assets. But on the other side, there's of course some like preferential choices, right?
Yeah.
And then we can see what are the crypto collectibles, which is NFTs, you know, the crypto punks. I don't even know what is this. Chromie squiggles, what is it of it?
Oh, one of the famous NFT.
I mean, is this like the pre-era? Okay, I'm taking a look at this, right?
Oh, it's very
And let me
famous, and the price is very high.
I
Yes,
I guess like
I
when
think it's
was it? Okay,
the top three collection.
the Chromie squiggles.
Yeah, one's top three collection. Four. Only
Let me sure.
only three either right now, but I think it may cost like uh, over 20 or 30 before. Yeah. Yeah.
Where can we see the stats? Okay, let's see.
Oh, I just check on OpenSea.
I'm checking.
Yeah,
Whoa.
it's very crazy. Yeah, if you put this on your Twitter profile, everyone will will respect you at the time.
So, okay, this was launched, I guess like 2020,
Yeah, it's very OG.
November
Yeah, it's very OG.
27th, right? Oh, at that time, I didn't even join the crypto industry. Anyways, this was launched like 6 years ago, and then it experienced like it's like do, and then this is the NFT summer, right? 2020
Yeah.
September 2021.
Wow,
It
50.
reaches its highest volume, and also the average sales price is 50.04. I assume this is price in Ethereum, ETH. I assume. And then right now, this is like average price 7.24. You said this is on OpenSea, right? Is it?
Yeah. There's a sad news from OpenSea. They're gonna to push back the TG date. And I checked there, that's wrong valuation. 13
Yeah, this is
billion.
this is price in
13
ETH. Yeah,
billion.
look, they gonna do like ICO or what is it like for OpenSea?
I don't know, but quite sucks right now. Only validate 300 million valuation on Poly market right now. Yeah.
I mean,
So
I
compared to their
don't.
last round, dropped like 98%. It's very
I
crazy.
think the OpenSea founder has also like quit, not
Yeah.
saying quit crypto, but he has started a new company that's like more AI driven, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah, everyone knows it. I think
He
he's
he
very
he sold the
genius.
top. He sold the
Yeah,
top NFTs, and he also is catching up with the AI wave, which
yeah,
I mean,
very smart.
undoubtedly, he is a successful entrepreneur.
Yep.
But let's continue to look, right? So, okay, yeah, so it was all the price we see here is like in Ethereum. The highest is like they each one average is like 50 Ethereum, which based on the current market price, that's like 100K. And right now the average price for each of those is like 6 to 7 Ether. So this is a so it's worth like 1/10 of like its highest peak, right?
Yeah.
And this is worth like what 10K, 12K. Okay, is there?
Uh,
I don't see anyone using this as their like PFP. Okay,
um,
have you ever seen it? I mean, I this is
yeah.
even my first time. This is my
Oh,
first
really?
time like Yeah, this is my first time seeing this.
It is
Maybe, I mean, I
even a
mm,
OG trader from Taiwan. His photo is like this. His profile.
really okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember the Ether rocks. You remember like those Ether rocks were also like priced
yeah.
really,
Also
really
the
high.
OG one. I think many people maybe their photo still like this, but they are not active on Twitter anymore, on X anymore. And I think it's very quite makes sense because maybe they
Look,
accept they just quit the market and mm, they're not like not care much about the recent social post anymore like
to be
before.
honest, a lot of those NFT sales is all like wash trading, right? You see the pricing here is like 4,711 Ethereum. Like who the fuck gonna buy this, right? And then the last sell price offer, like someone offer, 47.5 is like 4 weeks ago, da da da. But the actual activity like last sell was a month ago, where like someone
Wow.
actually, mm, but mm,
Actually,
but
watch
you
trading is just like the utility of artworks in a traditional way.
uh I mean, think about all the art that's like being sold in a traditional finance, or that's being sold in a gallery. Who is determining the art price, right? When the artist is dead, then and then we know, okay, the art pieces, no matter the paintings or artworks, will be limited edition, right? Second is like, then it's all like all the art gallery or the critiques or the market makers, like who can determine like how high arbitrary those artwork can go. On the other side, like a lot of people are using it for money purposes, money washing purposes, or for tax purposes. It's
Laundry.
it's yes, correct. So it's I don't think this is the game for the retail users anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-mm-mm. But okay, go back to the legal implication, right? So if people are providing more clarity on the digital collectibles, then we will see like more creative ways where like people gonna use digital assets or all those digital collectibles to move the liquidity across the borders. Uh, it's still good news for the overall crypto industry, because I mean, the more clarity the guidance, the legal guidance is, the easier it will be like different founders or different counterparties to trade in, right? Mm.
yeah.
But we as the retail users, we need to be figure out, okay, which opportunities are still suitable for us to participate in, which ones are just more like market signals for the general trends. And then if we go continue to like digital tools, it's like, okay, this is the practical function. And I think like what most were worth noting is, okay, interest, or I guess like you can basically legally farm or receiving airdrops in the United States. I think like before this like legal document get released, people don't know like if you will be taxed or if you can legally receive airdrops. But basically in this document, they said you can, even as a US resident. And I think like this will put or release a leash from a lot of projects, then protocols in the future they can more freely say, hey, we're gonna give you an airdrop, or we're gonna incentivize you to use our protocols in a more public way. And then of course, like a big thing for this for the clarification for the stablecoin, which I personally I'm putting a lot of focus on, because like the whole product sprout, right? We are building on stablecoin yields. We are building on like how to we enable people to earn the personalized earnings and the diversified earnings
Yeah,
on top of like stablecoins. And
yeah.
then
For projects and exchanges, they need to focus on whether any like different kinds of activities are considered investment contract or not, and if any activities will be considered like these, uh,
Mm,
the whole role is totally different, and maybe projects and exchanges they need to pay a lot more cost for this.
yeah.
I think that would be the top priority for the further mm, any further movements from projects and changes.
Mm.
So I
I
think
think
the
yeah.
vesting details of Megai token, I think maybe they know this rule like several months ago. Just
Mm.
like yeah, they changed their vesting token vesting rule just like this uh
What's their change?
German
Alvin, you
uh
know I don't pay attention to that, but I know you are following actively. Like, what's the
yeah
change? Can you give
they
us a
just
debrief?
didn't unlock the tokens in total at the exact date. They tend to change their roadmap to from depend on different KPI. They need to achieve a goal to like to unlock the tokens so that we can know that the project need to develop to keep pushing align the growth speed of tokens.
But Alvin, are they reimbursing you guys for the time? Because when did they do the, I guess the potential ICO, right? Or the crowdfunding for that? This happened like 2-3 months ago, right? And if you
You
just
mean the
take,
ICO?
yeah, yeah,
No, even longer. Maybe 4 to 5 months ago.
yeah, and if you just like, I'm just talking about the base case, right? If you simply just put your money in Aave or Compound, right? Saying like yearly you're earning uh,
Yeah,
over like tokenized T-bills, that's 5%. 5% for like 4 or 5 months, that's like 2%, right, on your money. And then if
yeah,
you are like a DeFi DJ user, or if you use Sprout, right, every month, like right now, I think like users are getting at least like average like over 10% or 15% APY. So 6 months or 4 months, that's like 4 or 5%, like just pure earnings on your money. But then
mm,
you don't. I mean,
for
to
sure.
to be fair,
There
you
is an
you don't
implicit
know.
cost behind this.
Yeah, yeah. There's opportunity cost everywhere, right? And then especially the opportunity cost for your capital is brutal. So I think like you
Yep,
as a user who participated in the ICO, you deserve to know what's the plan.
I know it. Yeah, my money is also stuck.
I know,
Money.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because your money is stuck. That's why we're talking about it, Alvin.
Yep. True.
Okay, that's the wrong thing. I think like we will still talk about it because a lot of users' money are stuck in that specific. And but this, I mean, let me make it very clarified, right? It's the money or users' money stuck in those investment vehicles are not the single rare case, and it not only happens in crypto but also in traditional finance. Think about all the loopholes like all the private credit funds are facing, right? You know, you have the Blue O who permanently pause their withdrawal. You also have like Blackstone, you have major banks saying, oh, they are only going to satisfy the withdrawal request up to their like quarterly maximum, which is usually 5%, 6%, or 7%. And all those like private credit are packaged like layers and layers. So essentially the risk is transferred to the users who participated in those funds. But I would say like a lot of those like private, the traditional side of like private credit fund uh, LPs, they understand the risk in the very beginning, and they were earning juicy APYs for the last several years. But now it's like shit's is hitting the fan right now. So that's why like people continue to say, oh, where do we go? Me personally, I think I still see tremendous opportunity in this market, and this is truly where crypto gonna shine. And then literally like I of course it's because the overall liquidity in the market is being tightened, right? So I'm actually receiving more and more requests every day from no matter the traditional private credit fund or from those like mid-sized business who gonna reach out to me, say, hey, Maina, we are facing the need of like, we need some kind of loan or some kind of liquidity. Like, would you be able to facilitate this? And then like potentially originating some of the RWA vaults, right? Powered or backed by their revenue, which I think is very doable. But we have to be very careful and very taking a super highly curated approach when we handle those private credit stuffs, which I think like this is where the opportunity lies, but also the risk lies. And then
Yeah.
crypto on the other side is like you actually have the opportunity and the capability to push the boundary, because the SEC, right, literally is saying, okay, all the companies, they are not obligated to do quarterly earnings every quarter. They can do it every half year, right? Which is less transparency to the investors, to be honest. But we, on the other side, if we are really going to do all the origination of those private credit stuffs, we can push the companies to do real time, right? Maybe they don't do it like every day, but we can push them to publish like every week or every month at least, right? And then this is literally like what a lot of DeFi protocols or what we are doing is like DeFi protocols are already allowing you to see the real-time collateral and also the borrowing supply and demand band, so that like the pricing of the risk as well as like how much you are earning is directly passed on to the users. And then the private credit side should also be the same thing. And then if like we continue to think, okay, we can make the information vague to the users, that's just a dream, which I am going to break it to break the dream to all the users and make sure, okay, we are building the product correctly so that you are being passed on the risk as well as the potential upside together with the risk, like very transparently. So you know, okay, why you are receiving this high yield, but at the same time, what risk portfolio you are actually exposed to.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. But anyways, that's a short answer. I am a bit like excited, but also concerned because whenever there's a big change in the industry, that just means like, okay, people realize, oh, the old way of conducting business in that specific sector does not work anymore, and then
Yep.
you need to change you realize, okay, it's hurting you, so that, okay, we need to build this like painkiller or the ultimate solution to help with the current situation. And this again is like how I started build Sprout, right? And then I continue to see, okay, people are suffering from all those losses. People are suffering from their not very deep knowledge into, okay, how all those DeFi protocols are functioning on the back end, and then essentially lose money. And I want to be a little bit more outspoken on those issues, though sometimes I feel a bit uncomfortable of it, you know.
I know.
Yeah, because basically when you are being very outspoken on a couple of issues, that just means you are touching other people's cake, and those people are powerful people in the industry because they already are occupying those cakes. They already have a structure of like how they are splitting the profits into their vendors as well as their users, like upstream, downstream. And then you as the new challenger or the person who gonna say, oh, me, Maina, I just want to build a very transparent product to make sure my users gonna enjoy the transparency as well as like enjoy more profit from this. They're gonna see you as an outsider, they're gonna see you as an outlier, and they're gonna say, fuck you, Maina. We are not going to let you to take the pie. We are not like you are building a dream, right? You are taking away, or you wanted to break the rules, you need to pay your tolls. So it's unfortunate, like the how it works in the business world. I mean, I'm facing all the pressures I'm facing. I guess I'm seeing in real life like how this is like flashing out, but my original thinking of, okay, I gonna build a good product, a meaningful product, so that like we don't need to rely on the UBI, the universal basic income. We don't need to rely on the dream that's penned by all the existing like power groups. And like I will fulfill my promise, and I will continue to build until like we break it through, we make sure the product is working. and it's delivering like true values. Though like pressure is heavy, but I'm optimistic on this.
Yeah, stick to your principle and you will get it.
Yeah. I think so. Right. And then I think this has also been inspired like by, if you really take a look at like what people are talking about on crypto Twitter, right? And this time, right, you really see like, okay, all the major news are breaking out across the world, but you can obviously see like how different people's reactions towards the news, right? Some people, they are very transparently sharing their outlook. I mean, no matter like on the back end, like maybe they have their own standing or they will benefit from their current positions, right? Not that beside, but you can still see like which people are a bit more misleading and which people are actually like, trying to like keep it to more like statistic driven in a sense. And then at least like I found out like whoever is thinking very similar to me, like I realized, oh, I really like his or her tweets, and I will continue to engage with their tweets. It's just like more like, okay, I see the breakdown of the humanity or human groups further. I don't know if you feel the same way, Alvin.
Uh, mm,
No,
maybe maybe no.
no. Okay, well, how do you feel like after watching so many people talk about the market and everything?
I think most people tend to ignore what's happening right now.
Ignore. Like who is ignoring what's happening right now?
I think most people.
Most people. So what are they focusing on?
Um, Everything except crypto. I don't know, because I'm not like this, so I can feel so many people are on vacation mode, just try to not to pay attention to anything in real life.
Yeah.
But um, for me, we still need to be the first wave of people to know everything happening on Earth. So yeah, like you, I will
I
stick
feel,
to this.
yeah. I mean, it's at the end of the day everyone's choice, right? Of like whether you want to be an active market participant across the timeline. Like I also have moments where I think, oh, I want to take a break from the market. I don't want to take look at all the news. I just want to clarify, clarified mind, which is okay. But there's only limited time where you can block your eyes and say, "Oh, I'm not going to see the reality from the world." But we continue to question ourselves: what is actual reality? Is this all illusion or the shadows we're seeing reflected from other surfaces?
Yeah.
It's it's a deep philosophical question. Okay, shall we let's use the last maybe 5 minutes to talk a little bit about the AI. I think we talk about like how AI is going to increase the productivity. We also mentioned about a Meta doing like a huge layoff, 20% of their employee, and we will continue to see those like major layoff happening across the timeline. To be honest, I think like the most recent graduate or even like people who were not prepared for the major layoffs, they're gonna suffer a lot from the job market. But for the job market, uh, I do think like I want to worry a little bit less about it because um, whenever there's a revolution happens within the industry, right, there will always be like new job offering coming out from that era, right? And then people have already started to talk about the one person, person, or small team business being created, and we will see more content creators or maybe one person SaaS company coming out of this era, and then there will
Yeah.
be companies creative to just like satisfy the niche for maybe 100 people, 200 people, and then that person will be able to make a living out of that. So I do think like the job market itself, it will be painful in the short run, but in the long run, for economic wise, it's always a good thing to have like the increase in the productivity. Um,
Yeah.
of course, I'm
But I
saying it
think
from like a
the
large,
layoff problem
yeah,
cannot be solved in the long run. Yes.
it it will correct itself, to be honest, but people will feel the pain.
Hmm.
Many people will not be able to pay for their loans or sustain their current like lifestyle.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Mm,
And even like crypto companies like crypto.com, they laid off like 12% of the employee.
mm.
Saw it.
It's okay. We don't have job anyways. I mean, I'm saying this not because we give up. It's because it's the truth, right? When you really enter the crypto as podcaster or as like a founder, yeah, it's because like you don't believe in some way your ideology is that, oh, okay, I gonna truly trust my own power of like
Yep.
changing the world. I'm gonna truly trust my capability of shifting things and also building things so that like I can continue to be responsible for my whole life, for my financial being as well as well-being. So with that being said, like we foresee, maybe we didn't foresee, okay, the major layoffs or how AI gonna replace all the human being services, but we know that there will be one day we need to do this, and then we are more mentally prepared than any
Yeah.
other like people
Yeah.
from
We can
other
be
industries.
prepared and we know we can overcome it uh in our own way. I
Mm,
think
mm.
that's a very different point from people working in other industries.
Yeah, like what I also see. I mean, this is a side topic, right? But since we are approaching the end, so I want to chit chat a little bit, right? It's like I I think the societal has a problem where like it's not just okay the finding the meaning of life. It's also like more and more people they don't want to form like a family or have kids, right? So I see like there will be so many people they will put all their thoughts or all their efforts into say building a career, building their own company, or there were so many people they're gonna use the same amount of time and then like spending all the resources on their pets, like dogs and cats, right? And then I even heard like some of my friends they were doing some like pet sitting, right? There will be literally people who are willing to pay for his or her flight ticket from one city to another city, and then to just like take care of the dogs within their apartment. Like this is unimaginable, like I guess like many years ago, but it's happening everywhere. And then I think you guys know me, right? I'm a huge promoter of like work-life balance. I think like we need to spend time with our loved ones, with our family, with and then to spend meaningful time on like meaningful relationships. So that like while you are pushing through your own like capability boundaries, on the other side you are also enjoy the life, feel or in imagining like continue to have the feel of like the mental support from your relationships. But it's kind of crazy like to think about it.
Yes, there is a long time we can think about it in the bearish market.
I mean, I wanna take some more interviews for people like, okay, if you are if it's so hard to build like meaningful relationships right now, what do you prefer to spend your time on, right? Is it just your past? Is it just your work, or is it something else? I also sometimes question myself, like, oh, Maina, you worked 20 hours today. Do you want to take a rest and then do something else? Mm. Self-awareness is the first step. I'm telling myself, right? I continue to talk about this is because I realize there's a huge like problem, societal problem, and I hope like we can by raising the awareness of people or people's change on this, like we can be first more self-aware. Second is like working towards a more balanced life, and thus achieving a more balanced mindset to live better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. Okay. I think that's all I want to share today. But Alvin, you have been fairly quiet today. What's going on? Share with us more.
Uh, hmm, think market is quite boring recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe right after I try more initiatives on AI, I can share more. Yeah, I
Mm,
think there are still many possibilities we can build, no matter the dashboard, but also uh, some tools we can easily try to uh, turn the complicated GitHub repo to our favorite format of contents in a
mm,
simple
mm.
way. Yeah, I think uh, for this kind of tool, I'm very interesting to building it.
Yeah, I agree. Mm, okay. Call your friends. I mean, I also sent out a tweet yesterday, right? I said, oh, like I don't know how I'm gonna think about this topic 10 years, 20 years, or 30 years later. But really, like I really enjoy leaving my friends, my families, like those maybe 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 50 seconds voice messages. And then just to tell them, oh, how I miss them, how I have been doing lately with my life. Uh and I think this is because, and this really, really triggered me or moved me is like the other day when I was listening to the Diary of CEO, there was this one guest who was on. He says, "Oh, he really cherished those like little voice memos because he had a friend, a close friend who passed away, right? And then the last message he
Mm,
got from that friend is like a small voice memo, and he
mm,
realized, okay, when you are younger, when you are 30 or 20, you never gonna think in your way, say, oh, this is the last time when I gonna see this friend, or this is the last time when I gonna hear from that person. But when you are 40, you realize like, okay, a lot of like many meaningful people are living your life in absolutely like abrupt ways, which is unfortunate and true. And and so that's why I said to myself like, okay, I gonna do more of those things. I gonna keep in touch with my friend, right, to my family, and then try to contribute more from my side, like the human touch, no matter
Yeah,
it's silly or
it's
not.
very
But
meaningful. It's very meaningful.
yeah,
Sometimes we
I
need
just
to build
cherish.
something not related to our work, just for our
Yeah,
life.
yeah, but
I
I don't
think
worry about you and me, Alvin, because we just talk to each other so much every every week, at least 2 3 hours.
yeah, yes,
Mm,
yes, yes. For our family or close friends, it, it,
mm.
it would be the must because maybe these people around it, surrounding us, they may not pay much attention to their life. So maybe we can help them do this.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Alvin is a very, very in Chinese it's called 孝顺. I forgot the word in English. It's like he spends a lot of time like taking care of his family, his siblings, I mean the reason why we're doing the live stream together is like both of us we have a very strong family oriented mindset, right? And for me, family is also almost like everything. I call my parents more and more frequently, especially like during the last like 2 years. And then I think the bonding like from family and the blood is tremendous.
Mm,
That's why I'm doing the app freezing.
100%, 100%.
Okay. anyways, it's almost a weekend. I hope everybody is like enjoying our episode today, and we will continue to deliver the most neutral market view. And if you like this episode, make sure you give us a thumbs up on YouTube, on Twitter, or if you want to hear about some other things, like make sure you interact with our tweet, right? Your honest feedback as well as your company really means a lot to us. We know we have a fairly small group of users or members who are watching this live stream, but firmly believe that like the longer we do this, and then with our commitment and continuous like improvements, like we're gonna see more and more people join our wave and our community.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and by the way, we're not from Japan.
We both not from Japan. The astronaut, astronaut
Okay.
guy.
I right now living in New York City, United States, while Alvin lives in Taiwan.
Yeah.
Cool.
Meet you
Okay. See you guys very, very soon. Have a great weekend. Spend some time with your loved ones and your family. Ciao, ciao.
Bye bye.